We've all been hurt at some point, even abandoned. Many of us have done the hurting ourselves. We get to the point where we don't trust anyone, nor do we feel worthy of being loved by anyone. Then there's that one person who just doesn't give up on loving you. Their love is unconditional. Their love stays long enough for you to heal. And then they promise to never leave. That's love you can count on. God's love.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. David Evans. Thank you for tuning in to our special broadcast today. We are so happy to have so many people on tonight talking about our special news show tonight. Listen, there's so many people watching on our social media platforms, and we're so happy to bring you the news. We have a hot topic tonight. We've been talking about gentrification. We've been talking about foods for life. We've been talking about how can we help our community, and tonight we have a hot topic, and all of these great people are going to be on tonight participating and helping us. This is the PIC TV network, news, world, and news talk from around the world. Listen, we want to thank you for watching with us from Hungary, Brazil, France, Argentina, Nicaragua, United States, Colombia, Mexico, Guatemala, United Kingdom, Germany, Panama, what's happening? Ireland, Peru, Chile, and Canada. We have Canada in the house tonight. Dr. Burke, beautiful wife, is here from Canada. I want to say hello. And we're also so happy to have Michelle, who's going to help me moderate this presentation today. And certainly, we are blessed to be bringing you some information, inspiration, education, and entertainment on the PIC TV network. But tonight, it's all about a brand new news topic. You know, the world has gone through a shift and a change like we have never gone through before. In Washington, D.C., where I'm at right now, this is one of the most powerful places on earth, which is the White House. If you look on both sides, you'll see the Capitol there. You'll see Capitol Hill. This is where I live. This is where we're beaming it in from Washington, D.C. But what we're going through today in the midst of COVID-19, SARS, COVID-19, the variant Delta, it has no respect of person. We're going to be talking about some heavy, heavy subjects today that will help you get information and may even help you to save your life. So I'm happy tonight to bring Michelle up. Michelle Cox is from Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody knows Michelle. She's been on so many times with me on this platform. Michelle, I want you to come on tonight and tell us about this this pandemic that we're talking about, COVID-19, this new strand that they're talking about popping out. Come on and talk to us about this, Michelle.
Well, when we talk about SARS-CoV-2, we're talking about this whole COVID-19 and the pandemic we're currently in. Well, today we're going to talk about the Delta variant, which is a new strain. This strain started in India first, and it's really spread across India with about 17 million cases. Then it spread into the United Kingdom. Now this variant has spread into the United States. And 83% of the new cases they've reported is this new Delta variant. Now, vaccines do help, but remember, because it's a new strain, anytime you have a new strain, it can be or have some things that we don't know about yet. And what we do know is we're going to have to start wearing masks back when you have lots of people indoors, even if you're vaccinated. But the biggest thing is we don't know who's vaccinated. We don't know who's vaccinated, who isn't vaccinated. Now, me, myself, I'm vaccinated. Why? I have sarcoidosis in my lungs, and I'm also a breast cancer fighter. And I had a hip fracture. So I had to make sure that I was vaccinated. And that's just for my health. Do I tell anybody that they need to be vaccinated? Absolutely not. That's a personal choice. But again, our rights end where someone else's rights begin. So when I'm vaccinated, that helps to help my community. When we're all vaccinated, it helps a little bit more. And that's just my opinion. Now, we have some wonderful guests in our house. And I want to go to everyone and ask them, have you heard about this Delta 19 variant strain? And let's start with our neighbors in Canada, the Burks. They run this wonderful bookstore in Canada. Please tell us, because our borders are locked down with you, how are you guys doing? And is the Delta variant in Canada right now? And just unmute your mic.
Thank you for having us join the discussion. Most certainly, we have this saying that when America has a cold, Canada sneezes. So without a doubt, we do as well have the Delta version here. But we, when I say we, I know our family and most of the people that we associate with have been wise enough to get themselves vaccinated. Because much like when we first encountered COVID, we weren't as prepared this time around. We decided that it's critical, it's important to wear a mask, and it's just as important for us to be vaccinated. So most of the people in our circle, in our bubble, are vaccinated.
Yes.
And go ahead, Mr. Burke, continue.
First of all, thanks very much for having us in this space. We really appreciate the opportunity to join in the discussion tonight. I want to say that for us here in Canada regarding the vaccination for or against COVID, it's a very timely topic for us. In the last couple of days, on 3 separate occasions, I had this very interesting conversation with 3 individuals about vaccination. Everybody, I would say almost everybody, is aware of what is happening with the variant, what we've been through, what we are going through, and hopefully we won't be going through much longer. We really don't know for sure. But the discussion centered around being vaccinated or not being vaccinated. And this occurred with 3 individuals who stated clearly that they don't intend to get vaccinated. And 2 of those situations involve us having to come in contact with these individuals. Now, I'll give you the specifics on that. We will be celebrating our wedding anniversary next week. And so we made, let me say, a tentative reservation to go somewhere for that celebration. But I thought, let me ask the question, have you been vaccinated? And I asked that question of the individual. And I was told, no, I am not vaccinated. And so I made a decision that I'm sorry, but because of health concerns, we will not be attending. We will not be going to that. That's one. That was only yesterday. Today, another situation came up whereby someone needed to come to the home to do something. And again, I asked the question, have you been vaccinated? And the answer was no. And they went into a long dissertation as to why they will not take the vaccination, which is their right. But I believe that it's also my right to determine that you can make your choice. I will make my choice. But in this particular case, I'm sorry, but you won't be able to come. And it's as simple as that. So it's a big topic, and I'm sure we'll discuss it more as we go through, but that's where we're at. So it's a matter of people making those decisions, but the decision that we make does have consequences or impact on others. And many times it's those folks who are most close to us and that we love dearly. That's what I have to say on that point.
I think you're absolutely correct. The thing about this variant is it's very deadly. It spreads 50% faster. It's 50% more contagious than the current strain or the alpha strain of COVID SARS-2. And that's why, because it spreads so much faster, we really, really have to look at how more deadly this is. Remember, India had it under control for a minute. Then the variant strain came because they had opened everything up. And this thing spread like wildfire. And you got to remember, India has 1 billion people. We only have 350 million. But it's already spread to over, literally within 2 weeks, spread to 17 million people. And that's how deadly that is. Now, Ms. McKay, tell us what you think about the Delta variant and how are you faring in your part of the country?
Well, I'm in the Midwest. I'm here in Detroit. And so far, those that I congregate with, those that I interact with, we're not seeing anyone that's sick, that's contracted the variant. But just Monday, a young man we had been praying for, few years younger than myself, was not vaccinated, had contracted COVID-19, was on life support, and he didn't pull through. He didn't pull through. So on a personal note, my husband and myself, our daughters, our grandchildren that are of age, we're all vaccinated. For the simple fact, especially with the variant, it's all new. Everything is new. And when they began to open up the country again and they told us, they were stressing, remove your masks, the thought that came to mind is under normal, so we're hanging in there.
Oh, and I'm so sorry for your loss. I totally understand. I've lost 50 people from my various communities. Lost my brother friend first. We went to college together I was 16, he was 19. And then my brother's wife has passed from COVID-19. And this is before the Delta variant. And then I have lots of church members and people from other parts of the country that I know that have either had it or passed from it. And I have 50 people that have died that I know personally. And so I know how deadly this thing is, especially when we talk about being in crowds and people not safeguarding. But let's ask Monica the same question. Monica, in your part of the world, how are you faring and how are people faring? And are they getting vaccinated?
Okay, and I'll speak from the education standpoint, if you don't mind. What we see here in Maryland is an increase in the numbers of vaccinations. So the numbers of those getting vaccinated are higher than those nationwide. We're at 75.3% of persons 18 and over who have gotten the vaccine. So I'm not quite sure as to what those numbers are now that the vaccine has been made available to that middle grades, younger high school aged population. But we do see the numbers of vaccinations going up. So there we haven't seen, while we do have some cases of the new variant, they are not as pronounced. And so what we have noticed, or what many have noticed, is among those who have chosen, those cases have been among those who have chosen not to get vaccinated. So from the school standpoint, at the beginning of COVID-19, it was quite a transition We had to revamp how we, provided instruction for those of us who work with children who have special needs and receive special education services. We had to figure out ways to modify and coach parents as well in delivery of service and meeting needs, and give some resources during that time of quarantine. And then how are we making this available for those students who do not have Wi-Fi in their homes? How do we get them the tools, the laptops and the Chromebooks and all the things that they need? And so we had to shift very quickly in, okay, how are we going to finish the school year? And then from that, once we got a grasp of that, coming into this school year, into the 2020-21 school year, okay, we started off being fully, online, then went into, okay, we're going to prepare to go hybrid. We came in, and then like within a few days, we were sent back home. Then we came back, and everybody was, all the teachers were in, and they started the process of phasing students in. First kind of slowly but surely, and based on needs, whether they were, students who had special needs as to why they were in that first round of phased students to actually be in hybrid learning, in-person learning, or some other circumstances as to if they didn't have access. And there was like a whole list of criteria as to how they were phased. Students were phased in for their learning. So we finished the school year kind of in a hybrid type of situation where we had students in class and students online. And so there are a lot of things going into preparation for the fall, and definitely some considerations that will be made regarding how instruction is going to look with the push for everybody being back in, totally in. So, and then you have parents who've made the suggestion or the recommendation or the decision that, no, I'm not sending my kid back, so we've got, they're going to send, or teachers can't, if you've been vaccinated, you can, teachers don't have to wear masks, or all kids will be wearing masks. So you've got all of these pieces going into the new school year, and we are preparing ourselves. Are we 100% ready? I'm not too sure about that, because I have even though I've been vaccinated and getting prepared and thinking about how I delivered my services as a speech language pathologist during the school year, I'm still like on, pins and needles to get the notice that, okay, we're in, we're out, we're in. It's like a bad jump in, jump out rope turning game right now.
Well, the thing about it is, and especially with kids, because we still don't know how the vaccine presents with children, and we have to be a little bit more cautious with them, because we've had some young people that have had some adverse reactions to the vaccines. And so now they had to do a little bit more testing and a little bit more strenuous testing. My thing is, and I want to ask Judith, where you are, Judith, how are things? Do you know anything about the vaccination rates, and how are you doing on your part of the country?
Okay, hello everybody. I'm in Chicago right now, and at least in the area that I'm in, it seems like COVID is like a thing of the past, because no one is required to wear masks anymore. The stores are not requiring them. The gym, you can literally go anywhere now without wearing the mask. Indoor dining is just kind of like back to normal. So I feel like we've heard of me personally, especially, like I've heard of the different variants that are coming, but it's always been, there's a new variant in South Africa, a new one in India, a new one in Colombia. So it's kind of like been a very, very, not something that's near us. That's how I've been made to feel, except recently I've started kind of hearing a little bit about the COVID-2 variant, which again, it seems like it's something that's not even close to us. And there's a lot of, conflicted information as well when it comes to if you're vaccinated or not, whether you have to worry or have to start wearing masks again. So as far as like the city, the mayor hasn't said that they're going to change, the rules or mandates to require masks. Lollapalooza is happening this weekend, and after that, we'll see how that goes, because a lot of people are worried that we might have to start wearing masks, or we might see numbers go up after that. But from last I heard, is that Mayor Lightfoot said that she's not gonna impose new mask mandates unless the numbers go to 200 per day, 200 new cases per day. So that's where we are right now. I am vaccinated because I work for Chicago Public Schools. And when the vaccine first came out, even though we were doing virtual learning, the city or the CPS system, they got us the vaccine as a courtesy. It wasn't required, but it was like a courtesy that we could get it. We were like one of the first people in line to get it. So that's how I've had it months ago. And it just kind of feels like, I know I have seen people wear face masks, like one here or one there, but for the most part, everybody's just kind of like at least acting like there's no more pandemic. But with that attitude, who knows? It's probably, we might be seeing numbers and things like that. So I really hope that people take it more seriously.
Well, let's think about it. And I have pre-existing conditions, and there are several pre-existing conditions that this COVID SARS-2 is attacking. People with high blood pressure, people with diabetes, people with underlying health or pre-existing health conditions. And so I think if you know your health status, this is going to mandate that you take particular care. Doesn't matter whether the governor, the mayor, the president is mandating a mask. We have to all make sure that we take care of ourselves. Isn't that right, Dr. Evans?
You're 100% right, Michelle. And this is why we're having this topic tonight, to let the world know about something that may happen that we never seen happen before. The PIC TV network, we want you to know, we want you to be informed. That's why this network is a network that tells it like it is, straight from people who from Burke and his wonderful wife, from Canada all the way to Chicago, Judith is there, Monica from Washington, D.C., and Michelle all the way from down in Atlanta, Georgia, and Miss McKay, she's also giving us information. We need to be informed. We don't want to be the last one to find out. That's why we're here talking about this powerful subject tonight. We hit so many topics we bring to you in the news. You've seen us talking about gentrification. You've seen us talking about foods for life. You've seen us talking about the changes in our world. Now we're talking about this subject. This is real. We are about August, September, October, November, December, about 5 more months before a brand new year hit. We've never seen a winter like this. I'm going to come back after the commercial, and I'm going to ask these panelists today, these people from all over the country, is the world ready for another shutdown? And how could we handle it? That's going to be what we're going to talk about right after this commercial. Tell somebody watching the PIC TV network, our News World channel's on right now. We've got a hot topic. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back right after this.
Juneteenth. It's a holiday often called the Black 4th of July. It's celebrated with cookouts, festivals, historical reenactments, and it's one of the most important days in African American history. Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery in the United States. You see, the U.S. Declaration of Independence stated that all men were created equal, but this didn't apply to black slaves. The move to end slavery didn't happen until Abraham Lincoln issued a law in 1863, almost 100 years later. But the news took more than 2 years to reach all parts of the country. The state of Texas was the last to find out. On June 19, 1865, 250,000 slaves were freed in Texas, marking independence for all Americans.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the PIC TV network. We are so happy again to have our news presentation on around the world. My name is David Evans, your president of the PIC TV network, and I'm so happy today. I want to ask Michelle, who is from Atlanta, Georgia. She's also the PIC TV network public relations person, and we oftentimes when we talk, Michelle, I ask you questions that I know you can handle. There's a lot of people who are watching us and from around the world. Before we get into with the other panelists, you and computers. We talked about AI, artificial intelligence, and you answered that in a professional manner, without fear, without anything. You told us what was going to take place. I want to ask you one of the hardest things I have ever said in our news segment since we've been on Talking Around the World. And I want to ask you this, and I want you to answer it, and I know you can. With this new variants that's going on around the world, with this coming out of COVID, losing my sister, Brenda, a year ago was the hardest thing I could ever do. I talked to her Saturday, she was gone Sunday. So many of my friends left this planet. I just went to a funeral on Monday. My friend Tony Brown's wife passed away. My sister Edie is still in the hospital or really rehab. Is this world ready, or can we handle another shutdown? Is another shutdown going to happen, Michelle? Come on, talk to us.
Well, now remember, I'm not a medical doctor, so I can only tell you all the information that I've been gathering. If we don't get our vaccination rates up, we very well could go into a lockdown. Remember, SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 was already pretty contagious. Well, the new Delta variant strain is 50% more contagious. It's more contagious and it's spreading faster. Think about it. When India discovered this Delta variant, it spread to 17 million people within a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. And then it started spreading into the UK. And now we're starting to see cases here. And it's attacking people that aren't vaccinated. More so. And just let me put another disclaimer out there. Even people that have been vaccinated are getting it. And some people have succumbed to it, even being vaccinated. Not as many as unvaccinated people, but that's how contagious this is. And that's why CDC is rethinking about how they're going to do the mask mandate. But they're telling you, if you have pre-existing conditions, even with vaccination, you might want to consider wearing your mask indoors with lots of people, or you might reconsider being around people that are unvaccinated, especially if you're already at high risk. Again, like I tell everybody, do your due diligence. Dr. Evans, back to you.
Michelle, I talked to someone from the CDC also, and they said there's a 100% chance it will be a shutdown. I'm not living in fear because God has not given us the spirit of fear. I know the same God that took us through COVID-19 can take us through anything. They say stock up on your stuff now, your food, your toilet paper, and all that stuff. They say it's going to be something similar to the same thing happening over and over again. But what about the psychological aspect, Michelle? What about the mental aspect of going through? I don't know. It's just, I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Well, let's think about it. And let's think about it in ways that we can think about it rationally. Now, if you've never been under lockdown before, this can have deleterious effects on your mental psyche. I remember being locked down with rubella when I was a kid. I remember my brother being locked down because he had chicken pox. So we've been through some things in this country before. We've been through polio. We've been through the Black Plague. We've been through, we call it this SARS-CoV-2. SARS didn't come to the United States, but it was in other countries. But let's think about the flu pandemic of 1919 that took a lot of people out of here. And so when you think about those things, now we have medicine on our side. But the other part of it is the human factor. And the human factor is we have to think about each other and love each other enough to say, I want to protect my brother and sister. And vaccination is part of that. There are a lot of people that are scared of being vaccinated because they're afraid of the side effects or afraid of the unknown. But I'm telling you myself, I got the Moderna shot, both shots. I battled breast cancer, I battled sarcoidosis, and a hip fracture. I took it, had a sore arm the first time, had a sore arm the next time, was a little lethargic. But other than that, I'm doing really well. The thing I want you to know, though, I did it not just for me. I want to see my grandkids. So all my grandkids are now vaccinated. I want to see my son. I want to see my daughter. They're vaccinated. I'd like to travel. Am I traveling on a plane? Absolutely not. But all we can do is, number one, turn the tide in our favor. And vaccination gives us some of that. The more people that are vaccinated, the more we can tamp this down and we can start to avoid what we call a shutdown. Can it happen? Potentially, absolutely. But if everybody, just like if we were fighting a war against another country, if everybody would think of this SARS-CoV-2 Delta variant as a war, and that we needed to all stick together and get vaccinated to help tamp this down, how great this would be and how effective this could be. Because it's only as effective as many people get vaccinated. And as the young lady, our educator, said earlier, in where she's at, their vaccination rates are 75%. We have places in the Midwest that aren't vaccinated as well, and they are getting slammed. We have to look at the numbers. Now, Mrs. McKay, what do you think about that?
It makes absolutely all the sense in the world. It will make the difference. We must care for one another. We must do our due diligence. We must not think beyond ourselves. We can't be self-centered. We have to look at it from a humanistic approach. Absolutely. The more of us that receive our vaccinations, the better off we will all be in the long run. I believe that.
You're absolutely correct. Monica, what do you think?
Well, I did this for not just myself. I do have older parents. So being able to see them, and they live in North Carolina. So being able to see them and make sure they have the things that they need as I watch them, slowing down and, not doing as much as they once did. I want to be sure that my parents are okay. So, and that I can go and check on them. And so that's been a blessing now that I've been, since I've been vaccinated, having that ability to travel and be able to go and see them. But I also did it out of concern for those that I work with, for those, the children that I teach. It was important enough for me that beyond wearing the face mask, beyond wearing the shield, beyond having, gloves, hand sanitizers, and the whole gown get up, because that's the get up they gave us. I'm a speech language pathologist. I had the whole, clinical hospital get up that I would have worn if I was in the hospital setting. I had that for my school setting because I wanted to keep not just myself safe, but those that I was providing services to. And I work in an elementary school. So that's even more, my children are more susceptible. You think of children, who are coming to school for the first time. And our school, the school where I work, has a pre-K class. So you've got students who are 3 and 4, coming to school. And typically persons that age, their hands are in everything. They get into everything because they're trying to explore and learn about the world around them. And you want them to have that positive learning experience. You want them to have fun. You want them to be engaged, but you want to be able to create that safe space And we were able to do that was, we turned desks around, we cat-a-cornered, we made sure everybody had their own individual, supplies that they took everywhere they went. They were socially distanced when walking in line. You saw, usually you're like turning around and, lips on hips and going down the hall, everybody bunched up together, arms length apart. That's not, so that was how we were doing things when we were back in the building. So this was not just a relegated choice by the school district that, okay, this is mandated, this is what you have to do. It was my decision that I wanted to do this for myself, for the elderly parents that I, have in North Carolina, as well as for the children that I serve.
That's amazing. We're gonna come back. I want to talk to Burke and his wonderful wife after this brief commercial, and then we're gonna also talk to Judith and close out with Michelle tonight. And Dr. McKay. It's amazing with so many people around the world and the young people. How do we get ready to face the winter of 2021? The flu. We got to prepare for dressing and colds in the season that's coming up. When we talked about gentrification, when we talked about the commercial we had on with Juneteenth, and Michelle knew about it before I even showed it. We were the last ones to find out. Definitely in the superpowers and in Washington, D.C., there's information that we don't know that's not out to the public yet. In Canada, where you are, I want to talk about Dr. Burke and his wonderful wife, because you guys are in Canada, and ask you the question about how is the flow, how is the atmosphere in Canada? You guys are there live in Canada, but we're going to talk about that right after we come from this brief break. You're watching the PIC TV Network News World Channel, and those who are watching, don't touch that dial. We see all your comments in. Those who are coming in, we see all your chats in. I'm excited. We're excited. We bring you a topic that's touching the whole world. How SARS COVID-2 variant Delta is here, and we have to deal with it, and we want you to be ready. We're going to come back right after this. Hey everybody, thank you for coming back to the PIC TV network. We're so happy for all of you on our new segment. You know, time really flies, you know, we're having these new segment topics and people are all over the world watching. So we're gonna go into part 2 right after this. But I want to ask Burke. Burke, I want to thank you first of all for you and your wonderful wife coming on all the way from Canada. You know, we met in Clubhouse, man, and talk about your experience, man. How we met, man. Just talk about that for a minute.
Well, I certainly remember first time we met in the room on Clubhouse. That I came in because I considered time to be a very valuable commodity, and so whatever I do with my time, 99% of the time it is intentional. I try my best not to waste time because, as you can see, the years are getting on. And so I saw the title of your room and I thought, okay, let me go in and see what's happening here. And I went in, and the thing that struck me most of all was that here was a presenter, moderator, who was given something of value. At least I consider it to be great value. There was no hype. There was no oversell. There was just, we have a product that we believe will benefit the listener. And that happens to be PIC TV. I had not heard the word PIC TV before. I had not heard the word Roku, and I listened very attentively. And I thought, this sounds just what I could look into further. And the co-moderator with you that evening was assisting people, because there were some people in the audience who heard about Roku, who heard about PIC TV. But the thing that intrigued me most of all was the fact that sitting in the room, both you, David, and the co-moderator was able to speak to someone in your home to say, this is what you do, this is what you press, this is what happens. And they were given an instant feedback that, hey, we're watching PIC TV, that they had not heard about before. And so the following day, I thought, well, okay, let's see what's happening. So I came and tried to get the Roku stick, and I could not get it because I thought I heard, I think it was ROKOU, but that was not it. And I would not give up. So the following day, I thought I would keep going. And I realized that the name was ROKU. And when I found that, I thought, okay. So I ordered my stick. It came the following day, and I installed it myself, which was quite an achievement because I don't like to play around with the remotes and things like that. I'm just not into that type of thing. But I actually took the time, I sat, and I installed it. And all of a sudden, I was into watching PIC TV. And I thought, hey, this is okay, because I thoroughly enjoyed the programming that I was seeing on there. And so that's how it, that's what we came about. And I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So I thank you very much, because what that has done, it has led me to getting to know you better. It has broadened my horizon and my learning about PIC TV and about Roku and other things. And so I'm thoroughly enjoying this. So thank you very much for the opportunity, sir.
Hey, thank you. When I hear you coming on from Canada, you representing Big Canada Live, you and your wonderful wife. How many years have you guys been married? How long have you been married?
I'll whisper it. Too long.
Wow.
If we next week, August the 4th, we will celebrate 49 years of marriage.
Wow! Hey, everybody in the room. Let me see. We got to do something special. 49 years of marriage. Where's everybody in this room? Come on, we gotta give them a clap, y'all. We gotta clap. And those who are watching on the television audience, we have to give it up for them. 49 years of marriage, man. That is, unmute those microphones, y'all. Come on, unmute those microphones. I want to hear some claps, and I want to hear some congratulations.
Congratulations.
Round of applause.
That is a blessing.
49 years.
Awesome.
Hey, somebody said they love that. They got it from Canada. They love that. Thank you. Y'all chats can pop in. They've been married for 49. Look at this. Congratulations. Comment. Look at that. All the way. Y'all got a lot of love coming in for 49 years. They've been married. Oh, man. Y'all better watch out. You might be getting some cash apps tonight, you know?
There's a little story to that. When I was younger, I would hear people being married for 40 years, 45, 50 odd, etc. And I would say to myself, no way. There's no way I'm going to be married for 49 years or for 50 years. That is like a life sentence, and there's no way I'm going to give it to myself. And then all of a sudden, the years just kept going and going. And now, here we are. So so you have to be careful what you ask for in that case. Yeah.
And you hooked up the Roku, you and your wife. I think your wife was looking at you and laughing while you was trying to hook it up.
Well, I wasn't quite sure what he was doing, to tell you the truth. And ever since he connected with this PIC TV thing, that's all he's been talking about and walking about and just literally lapping it up. I couldn't figure what it was about until I believe it may have been Sunday that there was a program on about Costa Rica. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah.
And I found it fascinating. And even I got caught up in watching that program.
Yes.
I believe, and I'm beginning to understand, that this is quite an educational TV station, and I will be continuing my watching of PIC TV.
I don't know. You guys said 49. You don't even look 49 years young. You looking so beautiful. Tell me about the vitamin. I only been married for 34 years. You guys at 49 years, and you look like you're only 24 years old. I don't know how y'all doing it. You're aging backwards.
We tell people that we eat, we sleep, and we eat, and we sleep. That's our secret.
Yeah. The way I look at that, this whole idea, is that I say that we have one life to live. And when it comes to my health, I'm not sure how much control we have over that. And my philosophy on that is this. I have no idea of how long I am going to live. I have no idea of what is going to happen tomorrow in any direction, whether it's health or whatever. But sooner or later, this life is going to come to an end. And my philosophy is this. Whatever it is that comes along, I am not going to help it. And therefore, whatever I put in my body, I try my best to do it in such a way that it might very well help me. Whether it's mind over matter or whatever, I try to be particular about what it is that I put inside this temple. And so even if something comes along, so be it. But whatever it is, I am not going to help it. And that's my philosophy.
That's big. I mean, when I see you guys on, we have to do a whole show with you guys. I mean, Michelle, we got to do a whole show with them, Michelle. When you see them coming, unmute your microphone. Michelle, this is what the PIC TV network is all about.
I think it's absolutely wonderful and amazing. And I love it when I see our elders, and they're together and they love each other. And not only that, they're making a positive impact because you give all of us hope, you two. You give us hope for a future for ourselves and that longevity of 49 years. That is absolutely wonderful and amazing. And I know, like Dr. Evans says, we have to get you on and to talk about that and talk about some of your life experiences and sharing that with us. And I'm so happy that you're here today. What about you, Dr. Evans?
Man, I'm just blown away. They took over the whole show. We were talking about one thing, and they came in, and you know, they just took it to another level. Just to see them pop in from Canada, talking about our network, and you guys just, I'm so happy. You know, this is what our network is about. We're not censored. Nobody tells us when we can do anything. We come in and come out. We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna do part 2 because this part we full. We literally full on this broadcast. So we're gonna come back and do part 2. But thank you for watching the PIC TV Network segment 1. We're gonna come back with part 2 right after this. So we'll be back, y'all. Don't touch that dial. We got some more coming your way from PIC TV Network.